Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, right here in Fullerton, California. My name is Tomoko Rosas, and I'm a practitioner at this beautiful spiritual center. Please join me in stating our purpose statement. We are a loving spiritual community, empowering all to live healthy and successful lives through practicing the principles of science of mind. Before we get started, I have a few items to talk about. Thank you everyone for participating in the Black Bear Diner fundraiser. That was, my goodness, March 20th. Seems so long ago. But together we raised $120. And today, join us after service for Spiritual Economics, class number 4. Anyone can join in this class. Each class is a workshop on its own, and Reverend Bill is teaching it, and it is offered at the best price ever, love donation. And so please join us on that, and the details are in the program. For next 2 Sundays, Reverend John Auden will be joining us as Reverend Bill and Beverly take their well-deserved vacation. So we'll be in good hands. Spiritual Growth Support Group is ongoing on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. to 2:30-ish p.m. Open to everyone. Join us if you can. If there's no commitment, you could come and go if you want. Details are in the program. Mark your calendar. We're going to have a bingo fundraiser. This is our first time ever doing the bingo. So yes, it's going to be an experiment, but it's going to be a very fun experiment. We'll also have a $1 ticket raffle. And the grand prize for that is going to be 50-50, which means 50% of the proceeds from the raffle only. But the more tickets we sell, the bigger the pot is going to be. So please buy tickets, and they are on sale already and now. Our next accredited class that will be offered on Wednesday evenings is Essential Earnest Homes. Details are in the program, and if you're interested, please sign up at the welcome table. We need a commitment from at least 4 students to open it up to everyone. We don't have a date to start yet, so please sign up and with your interest. Okay, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to pass it on to Tommy.
I wanna be still and let God love me. I wanna be still and let God love me. When this whole world starts to push and shove me, I wanna be still and let God love me.
Oh, thank you. As we go into service, we know that God is at the center of this activity, moving through us, expressing each thing we desire in life, just by knowing that all things are possible. Let's allow that Spirit to move through us always, knowing that we are blessed beyond measure. In Psalm it says, "Open my eyes so that I may behold the wondrous things out of your law." And it is with blessings of gratitude that I thank everybody involved and present in this service. The Board of Trustees, the ushers and the greeters, the hands who prepare our beautiful fellowship, and Beverly, a shout out to you, the flowers every week. Wow, thank you so much. And along with her, I bless my fellow practitioners, the teachers and parents of our junior church, And Rick Dell, wow. And Tommy, let's give them a hand. This is amazing. We do have the best music. And last but not least, Reverend Dr. Bill Salisbury. Your message, personal to each and every one of us, delivering us always a message of love, light, and hope. And with a grateful heart, I declare this service a blessing for each person involved. Changing something, so I'm going to go right into my reading, and my name is Debra McMurry, and I've been a practitioner here for, I think, almost 20 years. And my reading this morning is from awaken.org, Renaissance, by Thich Nhat Hanh. This morning at sunrise, a new bud appeared on the tree. It was born around midnight. The bark, the skin of the tree, split open under the incessant movement of its sap to make room for another life. However, the tree was not listening, and it was not feeling those movements, that pain. All it did was listen attentively to the whispering of the flowers and the grasses that surround it. The fragrance of the night was pure and wondrous. The tree had no idea of the passing of time, of birth and death. It was there as present as the sky and the earth. This morning at dawn, I understand that this new day does not resemble any other, that this morning is unique. We often think that we store away certain mornings for later, but it is impossible. Each morning is special. Each morning is unique. My friends, how do you find this morning? Is it here for the first time in our lives? Is it a repetition of the last morning? My friend, when we are present, mornings repeat themselves. If we are present in front of life, each morning is a new space and a new time. The sun shines over different vistas at different moments. Your full awareness is like the moon that bathes in the heart of hundreds of rivers. The river flows, the water sings, the moon travels under an immense dome of the blue sky. Look at that. Blue color, smile, and let your awareness spring up like transparent, pure sunlight that caresses the branches and the leaves in the early morning. A morning is not a page that cover with words and turn over at any moment. A book is a path where one can come and go. A morning is not a path, not even a path followed by a bird that flies away without leaving a trace. A morning is a symphony, for it to be there or not depends on your presence. The new bud on the tree is not even old. It is a bud of mindfulness and deep looking that at each moment in perpetual motion opens up to life. If you see the new bud, you will be able to go beyond the limits of time, for true life is beyond months and it's beyond years. Your eyes are the immense sky, the high mountain, the deep ocean. Your life does not know borders. All the delicious fruit and magnificent flowers belong to you. Accept them. Thich Nhat Hanh in Call Me By My True Names. Let's take that into prayer. God is one mind and all things available for creating our abundance and prosperity. God is our source for beauty, substance, and supply, because our universe is filled with divine ideas. It is love, it is spirit of mind, it is the law manifesting complete and perfect outcomes. It is with this knowledge that I can be nothing less than a receptacle of the gifts given to me by God. Open and be willing to receive this good. This is our true nature. This is who we are, loving children of God. I, like me, I believe in me. I love people, I have the ability, and I do things well. The nature of God is intelligent in all things, making all things impossible. This is our spiritual truth, this is who we are, and we know God is the source of our answered prayers. Today is ours, seize it, and with a grateful heart, one filled with gratitude, that we seek the heaven right here, right now, without resentment or regret. For this, we're thankful for the Christ we see in everything we touch and everyone we meet. Let's give thanks for the many blessings in our lives, because it flows with all kinds of good. This is what God created for me and for you. And with this knowing, I release it into the law and simply let it be. And so it is.
This is a song I wrote a long time ago called Now and Forever. It's alright to cry, but don't make sadness your home. It's okay to be afraid, always remembering you're not alone. Your pain will go away, but you are here to stay. Illusions try to nail us, but don't buy into that lie. Fear may assail us. Truth is, the soul can never die. Your life is ours to lose. The new is ours to choose. Roll back the stone, let the light in, resurrect the truth of your purpose and your plan. Accept that everlasting life is yours now and forever. Now and forever. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Roll back the stone, let the light in, resurrect the truth of your purpose and your plan. Accept that everlasting life is yours now and forever. Now and forever. The story of our lives is written in the soul. We make the picture. Spirit has given us the the story rolls. Beauty is in our hands, and now we understand. Roll back the stone, let the light in, resurrect the truth of your purpose and your plan. Accept that everlasting life is yours now and forever. Now and forever. Now and forever. Let it shine.
Wow, Rick Dale, everybody, Rick Dale, and Tommy Cosentino. So good morning.
Good morning.
We're still under the overarching theme of welcoming new life, are we not? Yeah. And today we're going to talk about spring cleaning. Because don't we all do spring cleaning from time to time? Well, from year to year. I think from time to time, what do? We do it now, and 3 weeks from now we do it again, and then, no. So, but first, I want to start with this. This from Reverend Linda Martella Whitsett, Unity Minister, titled Living as the Christ. In this moment of keen awareness, I open to a reality beyond my humanity. I command my mind and heart to recognize I am divine. I rise into realization that every aspect of me, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, is divine. The Christ that I am is infinite life and love. I am the Christ breathing life into my noble intentions. I am the Christ beholding the divine in everyone. I am the presence of resurrected life. As I shine the light of life, I champion others' knowledge of their wholeness and well-being. I am the light of divine love. In my embracing presence, people glimpse their true nature. They heal and renew. They live and love. And that just goes hand in hand with everything we've been singing about and talking about and reading about. And this is the month of Easter, remember? We've been through that, so right now a lot of that talk centers around resurrection. And remember, that's the heartbeat of this story. It's not about the suffering. It's not about the loss. It's all about the rebirth, because that's what spring is all about. So when we talk about spring cleaning, really we're talking about bringing in new energy and letting out the old. Because when we spring clean, I want to date myself now, but you know, it used to be that spring cleaning meant that, what do you clean? You clean everything. You get that high duster and up in the corners for the cobwebs, and you get the baseboards. You get those places that don't get cleaned all year. Maybe even that corners of that hallway closet, you know the closet? The one you only go in once a year, and that's just to do that spring cleaning. Kind of like the junk drawer in the kitchen. And then we clean the windows, and we open the windows and let some of that clear, crisp, clean spring air come in. So we're bringing in new energy with that. It was Rumi said, the light of the moon spreads from horizon to horizon. The amount of which comes into your room is is simply due to your windows. So we could say that works for the sun also, I suppose. So if you're not getting enough moonlight or you're not getting enough sunlight into your room, you either have to uncover the window. That's something we do with spring cleaning, right? Take those window coverings down, throw them in the laundry. The only time all year that that's probably going to get done. But if we need more light into our room, we need to uncover the window. We might need to clean it a little bit. And we might open it to get some of that fresh air in. And we need to do that. And we need to do that not only for the house, because what does it do when we do that spring cleaning? It gives us a little sense of control over our home environment, right? It brings us that satisfaction, that good feeling that knowing everything is done. Everything has a sparkle to it. Everything's fresh. And the rebirth that's going on all around us outside is now somehow included in our house. And it gives us that peaceful, calm, everything is right with the world kind of feeling. I love springtime. You can't like springtime. Oh, you're going to have trouble with some of the other seasons. What is that they say? Spring is sprung, fall is fell, winter is come and it's colder than last winter. Because we can let the seasons take advantage of us like that, and we can let them have an impact on us. But once we do that spring cleaning, we get rid of all that old stuff, the dust, the cobwebs. Do you get the idea that there's something here, though, going on beyond really the real cobwebs in the corner of my house? The real dust laying on top of all the flat surfaces? The real dirtiness on the window that's not letting the sun come in? Because we're talking about the same thing spiritually, aren't we? When we're having a winter, a season that seems like it's not as lively and seems everything is being maybe stifled or playing dead, in spiritually within, I hope you can relate to this. Maybe I'm the only one that has this happen to him once in a while. But sometimes, do you ever just feel a little bit off, like there's something missing, like there's something better for me? Well, we should have that, because we're born with that. We're born with this impulsion to constantly be seeking the good that is ours, that was gifted us when we came here. And sometimes it's not like Christmas morning. Sometimes we don't wake up and find the gifts scattered all over the floor. Sometimes we wake up and don't even have a floor. But we've got to find where those gifts are and we go chasing them. And it's just so much easier to do when internal we've done that spring cleaning. We've got rid of some of those cobwebs and some of that dust that's laying over everything. And if we're in tune, if we've got that fresh feeling that's coming in and we're in tune with that breath of spring, that vibrancy that comes with it, don't we just walk a little bit lighter? A little bit of spring in our step? Our heart's a little bit lighter? And then if something comes along that kind of sort of wants to change that, we're well able to defend it. But we're still in a winter mode. Something comes along, what happens very often? We kind of get bogged down under it. We kind of let it do its work on us because we're not really ready. We're not at the peak of our game. We're not in that bright, fresh feeling of birth and rebirth and aliveness and ready to take on the world. Cheap plug from the Essential Ernest. just in case the talk of that class got something stirring within you. Ernest Holmes says, "We must awaken ourselves and rediscover the lost paradise. Find within us that child who was not afraid of the universe in which he lived, who did not deny himself or his God, and who had not listened to the dull, monotonous tune of condemnation." But sometimes that dull, monotonous tune is what's playing in our mind, isn't it? When that's the case, that's when we have to do that spring cleaning thing. Here's the good news about spiritual spring cleaning. You know that bucket sits outside in the garage, just outside the door? That little bucket with the handle on it, and it's got all this cleaning stuff in it. And it's got chemicals and squeegees and dusters, and that in the corners, that great big long extender pole to get up into those corners. We don't need any of that. We got everything we need right here. Every one of those several trillion cells in our bodies, every one of them is touched with divinity. Every one of them is made from divine stuff. And we got trillions of them. Trillions of them. And they're all working in concert to keep us going. Can you imagine the chatter in the lunchroom around that? Hey, you know what Bill did this morning? I don't want to hear. Well, we got some work to do. Okay, let's get on this. Let's get ourselves cleaned up, and let's get him cleaned up. Let's work together. And that's when all the cells, not just in my body and your body, those trillions, there's gazillions and gazillions and gazillions more hovering around here. And they all work together if we're in that frame of mind to allow them to do that. So when we clean out the old and we get rid of those dusty, how did he say it, that monotonous tune of condemnation, there's nothing to condemn. Everything that we have, everything that we want, everything that we've been promised is always right here, right now, all the time. And we can carry our spring cleaning out into the garden, don't we? Springtime, time to plant, time to till the soil, time to get that little scooper thing out, you know, and move the soil around and put some new seeds down. Knowing that within each of those seeds is the potential for the allness that what is going to grow there will become. Ooh. Wouldn't it be nice if it had the same potential for us? It does. We come here because we not only have the seed of divinity within us, we are that very seed, and we've got trillions of cells working together to keep us functioning like that. And when we're planted in this soil, did you know we were planted in soil? Just like the bird flying through the sky. Do you think that bird knows anything about the sky or the air? Does it stop and think about, oh, how nice it is to feel this air rushing? It's everywhere. Or the fish in the water. Does the fish say, gee, this is great water? No, fish just swims around. And that's kind of like what we do. We are planted in this soil that we can't see, and that doesn't bog us down, and we're free to walk within, and we're free to intermingle in, and we're free to do everything in it, because we don't know it's there. It's so light. It's like, it's a mist that has no feeling. It's a mist that we can't feel the touch of it. And that mist is that divinity that is the cause and the creation of everything. And we're right in it. We're walking through it all the time. And yet we don't feel it unless we make a conscious effort and unless we have some foundation for understanding that it's there in the first place. That foundation is what we call our spirituality. Not our religion. It's our spirituality. Because religion can lead us astray, can it not? But spirituality never can. The spiritual beings that we are open and loving and welcoming and friendly. But sometimes when we turn that into religion, does that seem to change? Doesn't sometimes religion constrict and tighten us up? And doesn't it sometimes make us a little bit judgmental? And isn't it the case that sometimes, well, religion is good, my religion is good, not so sure about yours, but I know mine is, and we go through that all the time. Richard Rohr, the Catholic priest from the Center for Action and Contemplation in New Mexico, said that a mature Christian sees Christ in everything and everyone. Ooh. Are we coming full circle? Because Richard Rohr is not the only one. There are lots of people in lots of mainstream religions that are now beginning to make some sense and talking about the basis for Christianity is the Christ consciousness. And sometimes, if we allow it to, we can let some groupthink convince us that it's something different than that. And that's nothing new. Meister Eckhart, back in the 13th or 14th century, said this: I find nothing more destructive to the well-being of life than to support a God that makes you feel unworthy and in debt to it. I imagine erecting churches to such a strange God will assure endless wars. Well, he's had 700 or 800 years of being pretty right on. And yet, through all that, there has always been this contingency of people, spiritual beings being spiritual in these human bodies, that have not bought into that and have not agreed with that. They did their spring cleaning. They got all those cobwebs available to them, and they've got all that dust blowing in, but they keep their windows clean, they open them up, they get that fresh breath coming in all the time, and they make this inflow, outflow. What do we call it? Involution, evolution. We have to first involve that spirit that we are and be aware of it and know that we're doing that. And then it evolves out into that world. And that's what makes the difference. And that's what makes true spirituality impact our lives and the lives of others in a positive way. Everything impacts. Everything impacts. Ernest Holmes said, if a thought becomes a thing, and it does, because that's where everything in our world comes from, we have thought it into existence. We are here because we are a thought in that mind of God, that divine mind. If every thought becomes a thing, it doesn't mean then, it cannot mean that I can have this thought and it doesn't impact my world. So if I'm having thoughts of spring and fresh and clean and rebirth and constant renewing, that's what I'm going to get. If I'm having thoughts of lack in limitation and fear and judgment and non-acceptance, that's what I'm going to have. We can't say we want one thing and then do the other. We can't do it. We cannot hold two conflicting thoughts. So our thoughts have to determine what we say. What we say has to be coming from our thoughts. And if we're clear, if we've got clarity, if we've got that clean, spring, fresh house here, then we know what's going to come out is what we want to come out. We know that the life we're going to have is the life that we want to have. You know, science of mind, I mean, the big thing is spiritual mind treatment. And it doesn't take a licensed practitioner to do this. I mean, Ernest Holmes made it very clear that doing is what we're here for. We're not here to read about stuff. We're not here to listen to somebody talk about stuff. We're not here to fantasize on what a great world would be if stuff happened. We're here to make that stuff happen. And yet, sometimes I know that it's easy enough to think, well, wow, that would be great. And it's great that so-and-so did it, and it's great that so-and-so can do it, and it's great that these groups can do it. But, you know, I got these issues. You know, this is not my strong suit. Well, I'm a little bit weak in this area. And, well, I just don't have the money. Cheap plug, spiritual economics coming up. I don't have the money, or I haven't had the background, or I don't have the education, or I don't have the right family, I don't live in the right city, I don't have the right education. I don't. Ad nauseum. But the fact is, anybody using this principle can produce the desired result. Because through treatment and through every other manner of anything ever happening on this planet, it's never us that does it. As Jesus, the Master Teacher, said, it's the Father who doeth the work. The Father working within me. So we could have every possible excuse for lack and limitation, but it doesn't matter. It's not us doing the work. All we got to do is get that out of the way. Leave that stuff aside. Put that in that hallway closet. Slam the door. Because all we have to do is we have to know what we know. We have to know that we are divine creatures. We have to know that we are made from God's stuff and put here with a purpose, and that is to allow that to expand, to allow our souls to forever and ever continue expanding, being ever so much more and never so much less than what is our best. And when we do that, we can change this world, and we can take these ideas and these philosophies, these religions that want to cause issues and problems, and we can turn them into spiritual practices that solve those very same problems. Just by knowing that that's ours to do, and we can do it regardless of our personal background, our personal considerations today. We can do it because when we align our mind, which is simply our use of that one mind, that divine mind, that consciousness that grounds all being, when we align it and get our ego out of the way, get our self out of the way, get this little person out of the way, and then we are full on, back in the flow, in flux, my mind, the mind, and allowing it to channel through and allowing it to be like that fresh breath of spring that's coming in once the windows have been opened after a cold winter. It's doing the work. when it's doing the work, when it's God working through us, what could go wrong? In so many other places, we could have something that happens that goes wrong. But not in this place. Because like the bird that has the whole sky and the fish that has the whole water, we have this whole unlimited field of potential. Because that's what we live in. We live in a field of potentiality, a field of possibility. And if we're not using it, if we're not directing it, if we're not guiding it, molding it to what we want, who's that on? Because it's here. We're in it. We're made of the same substance. It's not like there's something in us that is against spirituality, because basically we are totally and completely 100% spiritual beings. We've just allowed it to get covered up. We've allowed it to be hidden. We've allowed it to become dusty and get cobwebs growing over it. But that's not the truth of who we are. The truth of who we are is we are divine inspirations of the one God. And all of the potential of everything in the universe is available to us. The Master Teacher Jesus showed us that. And 2,000 years later, we're finally getting back around to it, maybe, I hope. Getting back around to uncluttering it, getting rid of everything that doesn't belong on this, and get back to the basic Christ consciousness, the basic, we are that, I am that, and everybody is that. So once we clean out all the old, we clean out all the dilapidated and all the burdened down and all the nonsense, we get back to that fresh you. We get back to that perfection that we were meant to be. So, I say let's do some spring cleaning. But before we do, let's just take this word with us. I know that in the overall scheme of things, I know that in the cosmic view of everything, and we are indeed immersed in this field of infinite wisdom. We have all the wisdom we need already within us. It came with us at birth. It came from the factory. Each of ourselves is alive with that divine intelligence. We can ask anything of this wisdom, and we will be guided. Because it is the wisdom of the divine that courses through every vein of our body and every cell in our body. How can we not be guided if we get rid of everything that is not it and allow it to do its work in, as, and through us? No question is too large and no problem is too big or complex. There's nothing that we cannot know when we know our place in the divinity that we are and that we live in. We can be in tune with Spirit's guidance right here, right now. Wherever right here, right now is. Because we are one with that consciousness that is God. And it's just knowing this and knowing that this is the key. This is the key to unlock every door. I just give great thanks. I say, thank you, God. Thank you for this. Thank you for this knowledge of this. Thank you for putting me into this incredibly vast, immense, infinite, eternal field of possibilities. And thank you for directing me into the knowledge of that so that I can make those things possible for me and mine that I wish. So it's just with grateful heart I just let this word go, knowing that it is already so. And together we say, and so it is. This is our time to shine our light, to share our abundance. We know that all of our good comes from that one source, God, and for this we are grateful. Thank you for your continued financial support as well as emotional and loving, heartfelt support, because it's that financial support that keeps us going. And for those who are not in attendance, but watch this on video and continue to hit that donate button on the website and send in their tithes, thank you. So But let's just know that we bless these gifts, these tithes, these offerings, knowing they are given from the central core of who we are, which is God made manifest on this plane. We send them forth to do their good work in this community and in the world at large, with no strings and no conditions. And so it is.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the world. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the wet garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden softly. Praise with elation, praise every morning, God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise every morning, praise for them springing fresh from the world.
Rick Dale, Tommy Cosentino, come on. Don't we wish we could do that? Yeah. Let's just know something together. Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
Something wonderful is happening through me right now.
It's this thing called spring.
It's this thing called spring.
It's new life.
It's new life.
New beginning.
It's new beginning.
It's lovely.
It's lovely.
And I'm grateful for it.